Hi, so today we're going to have a look at a switch tip. So this one's all about long hold. Now long hold is a really useful thing and it allows you to have an extra switch press. So if I was a one switch user, for example, that could only access the switch with my chin, if I held down the switch for a bit longer, that would get me a second switch press. So I then become a two switch user. So we're going to have a look how to set that up and also what we can do with it once we've got it set up. So if I go up into my menu here, go to settings, go to switches and switch presses. Here I can turn my long hold on. Just make sure you've got accept on switch release rather than accept on switch press, because accept on switch press you can't turn it on. But accept on switch release, you turn it on, and then you decide how long you want to hold your switch down for. So I'm going to go for 1 second. I'm going to get it to play a sound so I know I've held it for long enough. If I go back here to activation, I can now decide what I'm going to do with that long hold. So first of all, I'm going to do a reverse scan. I'll show you how a reverse scan can be useful. So if I want to go for the question mark, for example, right down in the bottom corner there, this is how I could do it quickly rather than going through the scan. So normally you'd press your switch and it would scan down. But if I hold on to my switch, it's then going to scan in reverse order and wrap around. Holding my switch for a longer time again, scan through, wrapping around, and I can get to that question mark nice and easily. Now, that was really good to be able to do reverse scan. What else can I do with a long hold? Well, if I go into switches, go to activation, scroll down again, you can see we've got an option to back up one level. So back up one level, another incredibly useful one. So if I was scanning through my grid, if I then got to this row, for example, but actually I wanted the letter D. So if I hold down my switch 1, it backed up the one level. Now I can pick the correct row that I actually wanted and I can hit there. So I didn't have to cancel the scan completely and I didn't have to wait for it to scan through 3 times to get to where to finish the scan. I could actually just say, if I've hit it a bit early, long hold, and it'll start the scan from where I was and be able to scan down and through, which is lovely and easy. But if you did want to stop scan, and as I say, you haven't got the option to have a second switch to have your stop scan, then you can, with the stop scan, do also hold switch 1. So you can use the hold switch for reverse scan, you can use it for backup level, or you can just use it to cancel the scan. With the option to can't stop the scan here, you also see there's extra item in scan. So you don't necessarily, you could keep your hold switch 1 for backup one level, and you could have a stop scan here. So what that means is that as it's scanning through here, again, I get into the wrong row. And yes, I can do my long hold, which would back it up one level, or I could wait until it gets to the end of the row. And then once it gets to the end of the row, it will bring up an extra item. And I hit my switch when that extra item comes up and I can stop the scan there. So you don't have to have a second switch for stop scan. Even as a one switch user, you can still use it. It's just an extra item in the scan. So last thing that you could do with a long hold switch is you could actually set it up to do whatever action you wanted. And this is where commands comes in really useful. So within your switches here, if I go to commands and I add a switch, and I do hold switch 1 and I add a command, I can get it to do anything I want. So these are all the commands that you can get it to do. So for the purpose of today, I'm going to go into Smojis, and this is one of my favourite Smojis. So I'm going to go through mind blown. Okay. And this will basically, wow, I will show you. Let's have a look. So I can do my scan, or I can hold my switch down, release it, mind blown. There you go. So that's how you can use your switch to do whatever actions you want. So I hope that's been useful for everyone. In the comments, I'll also put down a link to Adam's switch webinars that he did as well, because they're good reference for if you need more information about switches. But if you do need anything else, please do get in touch with us, and we're happy to help you further. Okay, been lovely speaking to you. Take care. Bye.